Made it into Aitutaki Harbor. This was not a fun one. It's the first time we've had to Medmore, and luckily we had a lot of help. These guys right here, they brought their tender out and they took our lines ashore for us, got us tied off where we dropped off an anchor out front, and now we've got 4 different lines out to secure us in here. We're pretty close to the monohull next to us, so we have to have all these different lines up, and then we're tied up, if you can see, to a beam wall. And luckily our neighbor had some chain that we can use around there on this blue line. And we just used the chain to tie off the rope to so it didn't chafe. There's not going to be much on the much load on the other lines. That way they shouldn't chafe, only if this line, blue line, were to break. But I don't like Medmore. That was a lot of work. Probably been an hour and a half getting this set up, and I still got to do some tweaking. So we're here. We got to check in as soon as lunch is over, and I think we're gonna just relax and take a nap. It's a long passage. I'm glad we're finally here. You glad we're here?
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah. All right. Oh, we're on land. We're on our way to find customs and immigration and biosecurity. After 7 days at sea, it's kind of nice to put the feet on the ground. Have a neat looking place.
Building a new dock.
Looks like they're finally building a new dock. Looks like they needed one for quite a while. Well, I'm glad our neighbors told us where customs was, because I would have never figured it out. Because that building says COVID-19 Operations Center. Not what I was expecting for customs. Still hope it's there. We are all checked into the Cook Islands. I don't think I've seen such a nice immigration guy. I mean, that was easy.
And Port Authority.
In fact, we screwed up, didn't go to the Port Authority first. So he called the Port Authority and he walked up to the hill and came and did all that port for us. So we checked in, we got a 31-day visa. And we'll see how long we're going to stay here. And they just said, whenever you're ready, just come a day early and check out. So far I'm loving this country. Now let's check out and see what they got going before biosecurity comes and takes a look at all things healthy. Well, this is pretty impressive. Hole in the trees. This is called the Blue Lagoon. Seems like every island that we go to has their own Blue Lagoon. This one's pretty nice. Yeah, beautiful. Kind of cool that they're out there on the sandbar. You know, it really doesn't get much better than this. That's exactly why we're sailing around the world. Well, so I told Cindy if she sees a shop she wants to stop in, to stop, since we're especially on the other side of the island. So she did, but she didn't buy anything, but I did. I have a nice place to have lunch. the mayor. We ran into him and he recommended this place to us. When I think of a beach in the South Pacific, tropical paradise, this is exactly what I picture. There's a big contrast. Here's the old and the new. Well, it took us less than 2 hours to get all the way around the island, even with our stops. We made it back to the harbor. Got Remission there. And then right there, that is the little pass that we came in yesterday. Looks a lot nicer out there today than it was yesterday in that wind. We've explored Aitutaki by scooter. Now we're just going to do a little walk, maybe a little shopping, see what else is out here.
Eat bugs.
What'd you say?
So when the biosecurity guy came through the boat, he asked me if we had any like straw items from French Polynesia, like straw handbags, straw hats, straw purses. And if we did, or necklaces that I really liked, they would confiscate them because they carry bugs, and they don't want those bugs on the island.
Oh, okay.
So, as much as I wanted to buy one and I didn't have a need for one, I would have really liked to have gotten one. I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah. All right, you want to head over there?
Yeah.
In the grocery store, we didn't have any fresh food left. Well, one, we thought they'd confiscate any fresh food, but they didn't. And two, it was just, a 7-day trip like that, we used it up. But in the grocery store here, the fresh food they had was a few apples, a few tomatoes, cucumbers, and what was that? Oh, eggplant. And that was pretty much it. They did have some fruits that I've never seen before, and so we didn't do that. And bananas, so I got some bananas, but we are definitely back in the remote areas of the world. It's still fun to explore. A cute little young lady just stopped and asked us if we wanted to ride. But today is definitely a walk day and trying to get a little exercise. That was pretty nice, right out of the blue. Got some pretty nice final resting spots. We're seeing that. I'd say at least half the homes have got some grave sites. So if you buy a lot, I guess it comes with grandparents. I've seen a couple places that just doesn't make sense. Here we are at the laundry. So laundry, and you can get your chilled coconut. Oh, I love it. I'm thinking they must have some high winds here. Because look at how they actually tie down the roof. And today is May 1st. And May 1st is the official day of ending of cyclone season.
Look at how they recycle their coconut husks.
They recycle their coconuts and make a garden. Kind of cool. I guess this is kind of an important thing. They had no contamination noted, detected. It's actually pretty cool that they have potable water, drinking water available for residents. Remember when we were back in French Polynesia in the Marquesas, in Hiva-Oa, the only place you could get drinkable water was at the grocery store in 5-gallon jugs. They had water available, and a lot of the locals would drink it. We asked locals if it was potable, and they all looked at us, just shook their heads, said, "Not for you." That they were used to it. But I bet we could have tried that. Not French Polynesia here.
It was brown.
Well, yeah, French Polynesia was definitely brown. But I guess you get used to it. I wouldn't.
There's no car seat requirement for the babies. That baby was hanging out the window that just went by.
Oh, jeez.
Something else that's a little different is there are no roaming dogs around.
Yeah.
Whereas in French Polynesia, there's dogs everywhere. Downtown, at the dock, wanting to come on my boat.
Yeah. Yeah, there hasn't been a single one. You know, it seems there's a lot of parking, a lot of wide open spaces here. But I guess, well, maybe it's for cyclones or floods, so you got to sometimes take precautions. I want to see them get it down. We're about 2.5 miles into our walk. Cindy's saying, that might be a good idea right there. I'm thinking she's right. I never realized the chickens ate coconuts. They're living in paradise too. Pretty cool scenery. Found a real local. Not too happy with me right now. Thought I'd seen it all. Jack Daniels in a can. Canadian Club. Jim Beam. I have no idea. Woodstock. Bourbon Cola. I'm kind of liking this place. So what'd you get?
$10 each. I'll put them right here. What do you think?
All right, that's good. I'll go pay.
Yeah.
We got driver's ed class. Yes. Thought she might hit a goalpost. Not a bad place to learn to drive, right there next to the beach. Nice to go on a walk and see that they play my favorite lullaby. Yeah. Getting to know the locals. The king and his herd. I wonder if that's a Cook Islands Christmas tree. Either way, that's some really beautiful views. Another date palm. Remember from an earlier video, I used to eat those like candy. Haven't seen them in any stores though. Well, we made it to the lookout. It was definitely worth the climb. Aitutaki's all about the lagoon. It's pretty spectacular. A little different angle, but boy, is that pretty. I mean, look at that water. And here's what you do when you reach the top. You take it easy. In fact, I think I'm gonna go join her. It's been a pretty good hike, and it's just gonna get a little tougher here. We're already almost 2.5 miles into it, and this is our second lookout point. We'll be looking over the west side of the lagoon, whereas just prior we're looking at the east side. Been quite the adventure today. All right, we made it to the lookout on the west side. The lagoon's not quite as beautiful, but it's still pretty majestic.
Got more coral heads, so maybe more fish.
Yeah, maybe better snorkeling over here. And there is where we're headed to next. Remember the Blue Lagoon? Oh, that's it right there. In fact, that's where we were standing. Right in there. And you can see the people are out on that sandbar right there. I'm really impressed with this place. Quite the little hike even going down. Look at where we're headed. Problem is, we're going a different route. I'm afraid this is going to go back up before it goes back down. Because we're headed the wrong way now. You know, these kind of experiences is why we do this. Alright, we thought we were headed back to the road. For some reason, I don't think so. We are going up at a pretty good clip now. We may get to that third peak, which was the highest. And the fact that we just went down about 150 feet. And we're over 3 miles into our hike. We still got to go back. We're having a party tonight on our boat. Oh well, starting to be heavy, I can't talk anymore. Sometimes you wonder, is this trail ever gonna frickin' end? You see, it's not a well-used trail. I guess locals are probably thinking we're nuts. Kinda like how I feel about Cindy. She wanted to do this today. Trying to tell us not to go this way. I can see the main road. Always better to ask forgiveness. We're going. But you can certainly see why they don't let vehicles up here anymore. And then there we got a gate we got to traverse. I think I can make that one. Made it back down the road. Now we just got 3 miles to get back to the Remission and start planning for our party. The trail was more fun than walking the road, but this might be a little easier.
I have ice cream.
Okay.
4-mile walk, I deserve it.
You betcha.
Thank you for joining us as we explored the amazing Aitutaki. Next week, we encounter some challenges while living on a remote island. See you then!
What do you do if you see a fireman? Put it out, man! A female janitor at my granddaughter's school asked me if I wanted some weed. I said no, because I really can't handle high maintenance women.